Hey Spirit Tribe, Gigi here with Spirit Readings, and I'm so glad and so happy that you're able to join me here today, taking a look at the month of September for Gemini. So wherever you happen to have Gemini in your birth chart, or if you're just wanting to check in on a Gemini, hello and welcome. We are getting messages from our spirit guides, from our angels this month. So the angel here says spiritual guidance, protection from harm. So things are being worked out behind the scenes for your highest and greatest good. You are blessed, you are protected, things are happening in divine timing. Now please keep in mind that there are so many of us, so not everything may resonate, and that's perfectly okay. You can just set it to the side for someone else, or for later even. It may make more sense as events continue to unfold. Anything and everything is possible when we believe. So if it doesn't apply, you just go on ahead and you let her fly. No harm, no foul, no big deal. If you are new here, please keep in mind that I have had strokes. So that can really affect my memory. I can struggle to find my words or even get them out. I do get tongue-tied. I also have tremors, which can make shuffling a bit of a challenge, especially when it feels like I'm being zapped in my hands. Whenever that happens, I tend to drop whatever I am holding, cards included. I also have glaucoma, so sometimes I do have to bring the cards a little closer to my face so I can see them properly. So just bear with me, you guys. The messages get out the way that they are meant to eventually, right? Okay. Everything that you need to know about me, about this channel, you can find that in the description down below, especially if you would like to book a personal private reading with me, if you would like to purchase something from my wish list, whether it's a card deck, something for my household, something for my fur babies, or if you would just like to make a donation, all of that can be found in that description box down below. So make sure you check that out. So all right, before we get into cards, we are going to get an Enchantress guide message here for you, Gemini. All right, Spirit, Gemini, September 2025, an Enchantress guide message. What is it that Gemini needs to know? All right, we got love coming in. Enchantment for love. Let's see what we have here. With a piece of paper and a pen or pencil on hand, sit in a quiet place where you won't be interrupted. On the paper, write the word love. Stare at it until you have it in your mind's eye. Close your eyes. Focus on the letters of the word love floating off the paper and into your heart. Feel love, feel your heart. Ask it to stay with you and to guide you in life while awake and asleep. Open your eyes and say this prayer. Enchantress, my heart is filled with love that's true. I send it now from me to you. Ooh, I like that. Enchantress, my heart is filled with love that's true. I send it now from me to you. Fold the piece of paper and carry it with you to remind you of this enchantment. It will help attract love to you. So I would fold it towards me, because you're wanting love to come towards you. So, ooh, I love that, Gemini. Love it. All right, we're going to get some influence of the angels tarot messages here for you, Gemini, for this month of September. Let's see what you need to know. Thank you, Spirit, for your guidance, your wisdom, and your truth in all matters and in all things and at all times and in all ways. So first up, you had the Eight of Swords come out. Swords is air. Air is the power of taking action, or not taking action, the power of the mind. So, you know, that is your element, Gemini. You are an air sign. You also have Three of Swords coming out as well here. Ooh, okay, Gemini. What is going on? Let's see. Two more cards here. Thank you, Spirit. All right. But you have the Ten of Pentacles showing up here for you, as well as the Queen of Swords. So look at all of these swords, Gemini, air, really showing up for you, your own element in a big way. So, you know, whenever that happens, I take it as a sign, you know, that I need to, you know, get in touch with myself, or, you know, listen to myself a little bit more. You know, you're showing up here for yourself in a big way, and it's for a reason. All right, Eight of Swords. Now, eights are about recognizing limitations and either moving past them or staying within the bounds. So the symbols, we have all of these daggers here. The woman is pinned down by 8 daggers and feels as if she can't move. These deeply embedded blades represent ideas, outlooks, or beliefs that have been blindly accepted for far too long. Physically, the woman would be able to break free from the blades, but as soon as she starts to tug or push against one of them, she feels a resistance and stops. So, you know, she doesn't even try very hard, right? Removing the daggers, i.e. changing what and how she thinks, is difficult and may cause great anxiety. The woman is boxed in. She feels powerless and afraid to do anything about it. She is also wearing a blindfold. In this situation, it represents blind acceptance, the refusal to examine uncomfortable issues, and willful ignorance. It also suggests inflexibility and stubbornness. No, not you, right? The woman can remove her blindfold just like she could, you know, get out from these daggers at any time, but chooses to keep it on. She doesn't want to look at the reality around her, especially those daggers. There's also a liar here. The wooden item the woman leans on for support back here is a lyre, a musical instrument that typically has 4 to 7 strings. Or maybe I'm saying it wrong. This lyre, maybe? Is it lyre or lyre? Either way, y'all know what I mean, right? Has only 1 string, which the woman plucks repeatedly. She hears the same note over and over, just like in an echo chamber where the same voice is heard over and over. This lyre represents the lack of new information and refusal to re-examine one's beliefs, and a small closed mind. Ooh, okay. So the setting, the woman sits alone on a dirt mound. Fog surrounds her. The scene represents isolation and a lack of clarity. Direct meanings: blind, stubborn, or fear-based acceptance of a current situation. Refusal to question or oppose the status quo. An adjustment in thinking can change one's life for the better. Narrow-mindedness, limited, sloppy, superficial thinking. Cognitive dissonance, fear of seeing the truth. Feeling powerless, victim mentality. Feeling insecure and incapable of independent thought and speech. Isolation from others due to what and how one thinks. So the shadow meaning: afraid of losing one's self-identity. But the angelic message: may your blindfold be lifted so that you can see. Act with courage, have faith that the truth will set you free. Ooh, I love that. All right, 3 of Swords now. So threes represent the power of 3 separate forces coming together and working as one. So like in religion, Father, Son, Holy Ghost. So we have symbols, these 3 daggers, these swords now falling away were inflicted to cause anguish and pain. There is no blood, which indicates the woman has suffered a mental wound. This may include insults, betrayal, or catastrophic news. The strength and power of 3 has made the injury perfect and strong. It's perfect because whoever wounded the woman knew exactly what would hurt the most. Oh wow. A semi-naked woman. The woman's state of undress symbolizes that her vulnerabilities have been exposed. She clutches her inflamed heart area, illustrating that her mental injury had caused great distress and emotional pain. There is an angel up here flying towards the woman. The angel represents compassion and hope. The woman averts her eyes, not yet ready to move forward and heal. You could be hanging on to shame and guilt, as well as another reason why you're not ready to look the angel in the eye. Some direct meanings: emotional pain and suffering caused by mental anguish, heartbreak. Shadow meaning: using personal pain to get attention from others, melodrama. The angelic message: may your wounded heart heal and your spirit be buoyed. Trust that it will get better. And it indeed does get better, because we got the 10 of Pentacles. So 10s are, completions, beginnings, and endings, and Pentacles is earth. Earth is the power of your physical body, being grounded, being stable, being present. So the symbols, we have the setting. The solid stone structure represents stability and security. The entire setting, including the city in the background, denotes being established and solidly in place. The family portrayed here is not about emotional bounty, but like everything else in the card, it is about legacy. Wealth is built up and handed down to the next generation. Each generation has a material advantage over those who have no inheritance, because wealth builds more wealth. We have family jewels. The pearls, metals, and golden box symbolize a legacy of wealth and how assets are passed down from generation to generation. Family jewels also conveys the idea that genetic traits are passed down from one generation to the next. And you can see he is holding a ledger book, financial history and accountability, taking great care of the material needs of yourself and family. And we have a woven table covering, lushness, fine material goods, a comfortable lifestyle, direct meanings, material success, affluence, prosperity, solidly established, deep solid roots, long standing, legacy, inheritance, passing down assets from one generation to the next, starting with assets, building on an established base, shadow meaning too much focus on status or legacy. But the angelic message, may you prosper in every way possible. Ooh, I love that. All right, Queen of Swords. So queens are concerned with nurturing and the woman's role in society. So we have Mary Wollstonecraft, 1759 to 1797. She was an English writer, best known for a vindication for the rights of women, 1792. An early landmark in feminist philosophy and women's rights. As a young woman, she worked as a governess and teacher, and much of her writing, both fiction and nonfiction, was about educating children. She disliked the aristocracy and preferred the idea of a more democratic culture. Influenced by Enlightenment thinkers, reason and rationality are fundamental to Wollstonecraft's philosophy. She strongly believed that providing girls and young women with a good education was the key to a better society. She observed many silly, sentimental, and superficial women during her lifetime and blamed it on a patriarchal society that preferred pretty and passive females over well-taught, well-rounded, rational women. Wollstonecraft was an intellectual, and she wasn't afraid to tell it like she saw it in a straightforward and honest way. So symbols, we see books, education, and thinking. A miniature portrait in the upper left corner there. The little painting on the bookshelf portrays 4 differently aged females: child, teen, young mother, and older mother. This indicates Wollstonecraft's concern about how girls develop into women and mothers. It also reminds us of how historically important she was to women's rights. Paper, pen, and sword. Wollstonecraft holds both pen and paper, and a sword rests against the table directly below. These items represent the ability to form one's own opinions and ideas, and the capacity to communicate them properly. There is also an angel here as well, coming out of the bookcase with a glowing halo around her head. The angel embodies enlightenment. Direct meanings, helping others learn the truth and understand things rationally. Being or having an intellectual mentor, perceptive, able to recognize and have insight about something that isn't apparent to most others. Direct and honest communication, intellectual honesty, and courage. Shadow meaning, not being listened to or understood, being told that you think too much because it makes other people uncomfortable, especially those in power. Deemed eccentric because of one's independent thought or unconventional ideas. Angelic message. May your vision and honesty be embraced by all who have eyes to see and ears to hear. Ooh, I love that. I'm gonna get a drink real quick. That was a lot of talking. And I still have several messages to get through here, so bear with me. We're going to see what's going on in the love department for you this month of September, Gemini. So this can include yourself, family, friends, as well as significant others, literally anywhere that you have love. So if you're like, hey Gigi, I really love my job, I really love the people I work with, the people I get to interact with, my hobbies, then guess what? That is also included here. So you do have the lilies showing up for spiritual love. Love it. You know, perhaps you're on a spiritual journey this month. We have the bow. You are highly thought of. Maybe someone's going to give you flowers. Ooh, you got this ugly ass turkey. Someone is behaving stupidly. Is it you? I mean, you got to be really real with yourself. We also have the wall for misunderstanding. And you know, when people are behaving stupidly, you know, it could be all parties involved, you know, and then the walls go up. There's misunderstandings, you know. Maybe you're acting out from your unhealed trauma, you know, that's trapped in your body, in your heart, your mind, and you know, you're speaking out from a place of hurt, right? Because hurt people, you know, that's just the way it is. All right, let's see what's going on in career and finances for you this month of September, Gemini. I always like to know what's going on with my money. I'm always like, hey, yo, give me $1 million. You know, like how nice would it be if you woke up tomorrow and there's just $1 million sitting in your account? So I'd be like, yep, I manifested that. I sure did. Show me the money. All right, we have target for a goal-oriented person. So, you know, set realistic goals. You know, maybe you have one big huge goal that you know it's going to take you time to work through, so set some smaller achievable, maybe some medium size, you know, to challenge yourself just a little bit, but you're gonna smash goals left, right, front, and center. Now there is a broken wishbone which says a wish will not be granted, but something I read recently said rejection is spirit's protection. So sometimes things don't work out. Maybe it's a way your guides and your angels are telling you, hey, set the bar a little higher, you know, be very specific in your details about what you do and don't want. Focus more on what you do want, the positive things, and you know, don't let it bother you too much that this certain thing didn't work out. You know, something better is going to take its place. You have the ant, work, achievement, and success. You know, ants are small, but they are mighty, and they work together for the greatest good of their colony. So, you know, learning to work as a team. You also have the dolphin, financial gain, usually coming from something you did in the past. You know, maybe you made wise investments, or you've made wise choices. Maybe you've been able to, you know, squirrel some away in your savings. You know, you do have that 10 of Pentacles. So, you know, 10 of Pentacles doesn't just happen overnight, you know, when you're building your legacy and everything. You know, first you got to make sure you got that strong, steady foundation, right? And, you know, then you keep building, and it takes your whole lifetime, you guys. So you are getting there. Do not worry about how long it is taking. All right, let's see what's going on in life for you this month of September, Gemini. You know, life do be lifing a little too hard sometimes. You know, your girl here is like, hey, yo, life, why don't you pump your brakes? You know, use some Vaseline. And life's like, nah, bro, you can handle it. And I'm like, just because I can, you know, don't mean I want to all the time. You know, I would like my address to be on Easy Street. You know, it just sounds amazing to kind of coast on Easy Street a little bit. All right, first up you have the Unicorn. Use your intuition to make beneficial changes for yourself. Listen to your gut here, you guys. You have the Dog. Protection from a powerful friend. You know, you fall under the umbrella of this powerful friend's protection. They love and care about you. You have the Barrel. You feel something is lacking in your life, perhaps love, money, or goals. So, you know, maybe you feel like you're literally being bent over the barrel and there ain't no Vaseline in sight, right? I mean, ooh, it's rough. But you also have the Eye, which kind of goes with that Unicorn. For your psychic ability, trust your intuition. You can use this to help turn things around for you in the positive. All right, we're going to get a message from the Moon. The Moon is all about changes in your life. You know, the Moon herself goes through her changes, her cycles, her phases from new to full. She is beautiful, wonderful, and amazing in whatever phase she happens to be in, and so are you. So let's get a message from Mama Moon here for Gemini. What is it that Mama Moon wants Gemini to know? We have nothing will come of this situation void of course Moon. So, you know, it's like you've done all you can do and there's literally nothing else. You know, maybe that's part of that broken wishbone, you guys, and I know that hurts. You know, when we really wanted something and it doesn't work out the way we thought or the way we planned. We have be bold and make the first move, Cardinal Moon, showing up here as well. So let me see what messages we have here. Void of the course Moon. So I think that's back here. There we go. Nothing will come of the situation void of course Moon. The chances, and I can't even talk, the chances of something are diminishing. Something better may be around the corner. You know, I kind of said that already with that broken wishbone. Believe that you will get what you need. Surrender to the divine. Take time out, meditate, and contemplate. Attune to the Moon. I trust in my highest good. And, you know, also trusting and believing that your guides and your angels are working overtime behind the scenes on your behalf for your highest and greatest good. All right, we have be bold and make the first move, Cardinal Moon. Be bold and follow your heart and your emotions. Avoid recklessness or moving too fast. Come into your power. The time for action is now. Ask Ganesha, the Hindu elephant god, for help, or whatever you believe in, you guys. And attune to the moon. I am taking charge of my destiny. Yes, take charge of your destiny. All right, we're gonna see who would like to be your spirit animal guide for this month of September, Gemini, and see what message the spirit animal guide has for you. Ooh, a number 13, release. We have this peacock, and the peacock is white, the butterfly is white, and it looks like you also have a white rose. So it's time to release the past and move on to something new. This ending is the first step on the way to a happier future. Release what is no longer working for you. Let it go. Whatever is falling away, whether it's a person, place, or thing, let it. Drop it like it's hot. All right, let's get a fairy dust message for you for this month of September, Gemini. Let's see what else you need to know, what the fairies want you to know. All right, let's see what we have here. We have friends. All the love your light extends, its reflection shown in chosen friends. Ooh, I like that. And you know, sometimes our chosen friends become our chosen family. You also have rainbows. In our forest, no trees debate. Rainbows stand with love, not hate. Yes, pour more love, less hate, more love all the time. All right, let's get a Star Seeds mini deck message here for you, Gemini, for this month of September. Sorry, little Miss Olive was trying to make her way onto the table. You can hear her in the background. Now she's running and attacking my leg because I shooed her off the table. She is not happy. She wanted to pick cards. All right, we have patience. Be patient and allow destiny to unfold at its own pace. Divine timing, divine guidance. And you know, you got to be patient, young grasshopper. All right, dreams. The universe speaks to you through your dreams. You know, that's one more way the universe, your guides, your angels can connect with you, you know, through your intuition, through your dreams. So maybe you need to keep a notebook or something, or a dream journal beside your bed, so when you wake up you can write it down while it's fresh, right? And then go back over it later and be like, wow, you know, I am being shown so much. All right, Gemini, these are your messages. I hope you enjoyed them. If you did, please drop me a comment down below. Let me know. Make sure you smash the heck out of that like button, that old thumbs up button down there. Hit it with a razzle dazzle. If you haven't already and you find you keep coming back here, please subscribe to the channel, you guys. That truly means so very much to me. I love growth. I love expansion. I love being able to interact with all of you. It really does bring a lot of joy into my life. You know, you guys are part of the teamwork that makes this dream work. I wouldn't be able to do it without all of you. And I'm so very grateful and thankful to each and every single one of you. I truly am. And now Olive has knocked my trash can over. Girl, get out of there. Sorry about that. I didn't want her to get in get in and get into something she shouldn't. So, curious little kitten. All right, Gemini, you know, your guides and your angels, they have your back. I feel like, you know, you're highly thought of, and I feel like this person will take you by surprise when you realize, you know, how much they think of you. And, you know, you're on a spiritual love, accept spiritual, you know, love on your journey. And, you know, check in with yourself. Are you the one behaving stupidly? Are you being reckless? You know, there may be misunderstandings, but, you know, when it comes to career and finances, you know, learning to work together to get the job done, you know, maybe things that you have done in the past, maybe you had a 401k or something like that. Set goals that you can obtain, and don't worry about that broken wishbone too much, you guys. You know, release the outcome, and actually it's a lot better. You free your own self. So when it comes to life, sorry, I'm getting attacked. Pay attention to your dreams, to your psychic abilities, to, you know, the messages, from your own intuition that are coming in. Maybe they're like little flashes or something, or a feeling or a song. You know, it could come in any way. And, you know, you're under the umbrella of someone's protection. They love and care about you enough to extend that. And, you know, we all feel like we're bent over a barrel sometimes. Sometimes it's fun being bent over a barrel, but, you know, I mean, not always, right? All right, you guys, Gemini, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I love and appreciate each and every single one of you. And I want to say thank you, blessed be, namaste, and goodbye.